Hello, everyone, and welcome into UC Berkeley Goldman School of Public Policy's information session for our Master of Public Affairs degree program. It's really wonderful to see you all today. The purpose of today is to give you more information about our school and the MPA degree program. Today's session is focused in on local government, and we've invited one of our very honored alums. We are honored to have her here with us, I should say. And so we'll give you time to hear from our alum and ask her questions as well. So the agenda for today is to dive a little deeper into the Goldman School of Public Policy, provide an overview of the Master of Public Affairs program, talk through our admissions process and let you know what next steps are, and then we'll take all of your questions. And we specifically schedule this for your lunchtime break. We're hoping that most of the folks in the room are here on the West Coast and during their lunchtime, but if you're not, you're certainly welcome, and we're glad you're here. But that's the timing of today, and we try to fit it into this 1 hour so that you can get this accomplished during your lunch hour. So my name is Annie Campbell Washington. I'm Senior Assistant Dean of Academic Programs and Dean of Students. I'm also a very proud alum of the Goldman School of Public Policy. I got my Master's of Public Policy degree back in 2000, and then I went on to a long career in local government. So I'm just really excited to talk with you all today and share more about why this degree program specifically is really geared towards folks working in local government and welcome one of our alums into the room as well, who we will talk to in just a moment. Before I hand the mic over, I wanted to share with you Hector Cardenas, who is our faculty director for the MPA program. He teaches in the program and also serves as the faculty director overseeing the curriculum of the program. And Tom Hernandez is our director of career services and MPA career advisor. Both folks will not be on the call today, but I wanted to share with you because they're a very integral part of the MPA team. There's also a much larger career services and student services team that work with all of our students who won't be here today. But joining me in the room, and I'll pass the mic, is Cameron Parker. Thanks, Cam.
Thank you, Annie. Welcome everyone to this, at least in our part of the world, this special lunchtime session for the MPA information, for some MPA information. I'm Cameron Parker. I'm the Executive Director of Student Affairs here. So I work with helping students find their way into the program, and then helping students to have an enriched and supported student experience while they're here. And then I work and support various areas of the Goldman School to help students and alumni connect and remain connected as they go from students to alumni and grow as alumni. So I'm excited to see you all here. I'm excited for you all to learn how exciting this program is. And I'll be talking a little bit more later in the presentation, but I welcome you in once again, and I will pass it to Simone.
Thank you, Cam. My name is Simone Bryce. I'm the Associate Director of the Public Affairs Program. I have a background in local government, spent about 12 years in local government, and then after that, I spent 10 years in a financial startup where we worked with governments to provide clean energy financing for commercial property owners and residential property owners. I headed the commercial property owners and financing, and what we did was we used a public tax assessment as a security for financing that was provided by private lenders, private capital. And so we were able to provide below market rates because of that public tax assessment security, which is a super security, and allowed lower rates, longer term loans. I am in charge of student services with the public affairs program. So I am your main point of contact for admissions, helping you out. I always like to say this is not a gotcha process. This is a fully supportive process. We are super responsive and we are super helpful. And then, of course, once you're into the program, help to get you through the program on time. So help with your enrollments, provide counseling with your degree cadence. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. I also wanted to briefly introduce our dean, David Wilson. He has been dean of the Goldman School of Public Policy for about 5 years now, has brought just a really innovative leadership style and really does not allow the Goldman School to rest on our laurels. Even though we're rated the #1 public policy school in the country, he really has pushed us to develop new programs, new focus areas. You can see some of them here. That focus on energy and climate policy, as well as tech policy, security policy. And then most recently, we are launching a MPA program in Sacramento starting next year, and that will be focused on agile government. So we're really excited to be working even more closely with state government and welcoming state government employees into the program with classes focused on agile government. And all of our MPA students will be welcomed into those classes, but we're excited to build a cohort of Sacramento-based students. And then additionally, the dean has brought a focus on democracy policy, which could not have come at a more important time. And democracy policy itself has not been a field historically, but he's building that field. So it's a real benefit to have the dean here leading the school and bringing expertise into the school that come right into the classroom and work with students directly on research projects, teaching in the classroom, giving students real-time opportunities to work on public problems. As I mentioned, Goldman School is very often ranked #1 in public policy analysis. Also, we're ranked very highly in all of these areas: social policy, public affairs, environmental policy, health policy. And of course, we're located at the #1 public institution in the country, UC Berkeley. And MPA students have the opportunity to take classes across the university. So many of our MPA students take classes at the Haas Business School, at the Information School, School of Public Health, School of Social Welfare, the law school. So it's an incredible opportunity to be at the Goldman School and taking classes there as well as across the full university. Cam, would you like to talk a little bit more about the community?
Absolutely. So the Goldman School, the community at the Goldman School is one of my favorite things. I continue to say this in presentations and in and around the halls at GSPP because I truly, truly believe it's what makes not just the MPA program, but the Goldman School itself special. So um, you can see here the bullet points that we have. So I'll just expand on them a little bit. We do have a diverse um, and dynamic educational environment because it is Berkeley. I will not downplay that. It is Berkeley. You will be challenged academically. You will discover new things about yourself as a student, as a professional, and as a member of the community. But the good thing about that, that I think sets us apart, is that we're able to feel and provide a close-knit, small community aspect within a very large school like Berkeley. So Berkeley is 30 plus thousand strong. It's pretty much half the city of Berkeley, California. But when you're at the Goldman School, the analogy that I give is it almost feels like a neighborhood within a big city. And so, yes, you are a part of this huge network, but you are definitely a part of the Goldman School where if you are to, if you apply and you're admitted, you will see myself, Annie, Simone in the building. We're not people that you saw in the beginning and you never come in contact with again. We will be with you in many different pivotal moments of your education, celebratory, academic, all of those things. And then our alumni network. I love saying that we have an active alumni network when we have an alumni on the call because it speaks for itself. But interestingly enough, that's always true because Annie went to the Goldman School, and I always say if people didn't have a good time, they will not come back. And so we have an active alumni network, which I feel like is different from some other alumni networks where folks are notable graduates and they're doing great things, but they're kind of, behind a glass wall and you can't really get to them. Our alumni are doing incredible things. We have an alumni, Nani Carletti, who is working in the governor's office. I was fortunate enough to just meet her at a speaking engagement that we hosted in Sacramento, in connection with our Sacramento MPA program and the dean. And so we have active and supportive alumni, which will help you in your career in the future. Last but not least, our commitment to inclusion. That is not a buzzword that we use. We actually work to create an environment where people find their voice or either find or create their space within the Goldman School. And that speaks to what you're seeing in front of you. This is just a short list of some of the student organizations and clubs that we have at the Goldman School. We have class reps for every degree program that they are class reps for the year, and then for our 2 year programs, they work as class reps in the second year, and we elect new reps for every first year or the 1 year program, the MPA program. But you can see here how diverse the clubs and orgs are. And the last piece of information I'll leave you with is that if you do not see something here, or if you become a part of the Goldman School and you do not find an area that you either feel like is a voice you would like to give, an area you'd like to invest in, or a voice you'd like to lend to the community, we work with you as a student services and student affairs team to help create that space for you. So inclusion is not just something that we say exists, it's something that we feed and we work to make sure is thriving within the Goldman School. So thank you. I think I'll pass it back to Annie to talk about some cool other folks that work at GSPP.
Thank you, Cam. I like to highlight the faculty at the Goldman School during these sessions because the folks who are teaching in your classrooms are just so impressive. So we have faculty who are doing research at the local, state, federal, and international level on all these policy areas listed here. But we also bring practitioners into the classroom. So folks who are working on the ground on these issues are also teaching courses to the MPA students. We know that you're coming in as mid-career professionals and you're either already in leadership roles or you're stepping into them. And so we really believe that it's the true mix of the research and tenured faculty with the practitioners in the classroom who will give you that well-rounded experience and prepare you for your next leadership role. We do not ask students to choose a concentration. In fact, we find students at the Goldman School are interested in all of these areas. But I do like to mention that if one of these areas is something you'd like to focus, we have enough electives where you could actually build a concentration in one of these areas. In addition, there are certificate programs now available at the Goldman School in tech policy, security policy, food policy, early childhood education. So it is possible to, while you're earning your degree, to also earn a certificate in another area if that's something that you wish to do. It does mean that you have to tailor your electives to that one particular area, but it is possible if you're interested. And as I mentioned before, there are opportunities to take courses across the university. So many of our MPA students take classes not just at the Goldman School, but at these other schools across the university, which are also all very highly ranked in the country. So it's an amazing opportunity to learn from very renowned faculty across the campus. So, who else are students at the Goldman School while you're there getting your Master of Public Affairs degree? Of course, today we're talking about the 12 to 14-month, very flexible MPA degree that's designed for mid-career professionals and designed for you to earn that degree in 12 to 14 months, either in person or online. We also offer a 2 year full-time Master of Public Policy degree, as well as a 2 year full-time Master of Development Practice degree. Those programs both require summer internships in the summer in between the 2 years. We have a small PhD program with about 12 to 15 students enrolled at any one time, and a very popular undergraduate minor with about 600 to 800 students enrolled at any one time. It's a very student-centered community at the Goldman School with about 300 graduate students at any one time. So it's really a community that you can actually wrap your arms around and get to know all the students in the program while you're there, and just an incredible learning experience because it's so diverse. Next, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our MPA alum, Joyce Halabi, who has joined us here today. And Joyce, I'll turn it over to you to say a bit about your path into the MPA and your experience. And then I'm so grateful that you're willing to stay on and answer some questions if folks have questions directly for you at the end.
Thank you so much, Annie. I'm happy to be here and always happy to share my love for Berkeley and the MPA program. With that, my name is Joyce Hallaby. I am a proud MPA alumni, class of 2019. I'm also what I like to call a double bear. So I did my undergraduate degree at UC Berkeley as well in political science, and then opted to return later in my career to get an MPA from the Goldman School. I currently serve as the Deputy City Manager at the City of Pacific Grove, and I've been with this agency for almost 10 years, including during my time when I did the MPA program. So I did the program primarily online. I've got almost 15 years of municipal government experience at this point with a wide array of expertise, including capital improvement program management, public works infrastructure world, and now more on like the political side, economic development, public information, council relations, things like that. My graduate program experience at Berkeley was transformative. It gave me new lenses to explore complex local government challenges. I think that we kind of all experience in California and outside California. I learned to see issues really as multifaceted systems, and the key to effective problem solving really being starting with properly defining the problem for the greatest community impact. So that is something you will learn at GSPP, and it's something that I use on a daily basis um, in my career. And the coursework really taught me to think critically about meaningful and lasting change, and really being thoughtful and inclusive in the solution making process. A thing that Annie just touched on was really that I connected with incredible classmates and faculty throughout my time at GSPP, including people who are now lifelong friends. We still talk on a regular basis, and so that was really a huge and meaningful takeaway. There are also people that I lean on throughout my career, when I experience things and say, what's your expertise, or how do you think I should handle this? So really looking to them for continued support in my professional experience. So the program really shaped my career trajectory. It equipped me with analytical tools, confidence, and perspective on leadership roles to drive positive change in public service. And in closing, I would highly recommend it to anyone even remotely considering it. It's both an investment in your professional growth as well as personal connection.
Thank you so much, Joyce. I really appreciate you being here. I know how busy you are, and I'm just grateful for your time. Thank you so much. All right, we'll continue on, and we know that we just have an hour, so we're going to try to move through the slides to try to end by 12:30, and then we'll open it up to questions because that's often really insightful to hear what others' questions are. So I like to start sometimes by backing up and saying, as you're looking at master's degree programs in this area, you might see that schools use the same three letters or different letters to describe the same degree program. So I like to just highlight that to you to say, really dig into the school and their degree programs to make sure that you understand the curriculum, the philosophy, the pedagogy for the particular program to make sure you're getting what you want. At GSPP, the MPA stands for Master of Public Affairs, and it is our mid-career program that is delivered across 12 to 14 months. And our students come in with about 7 to 10 years of work experience on average and are really focused on gaining a toolkit to be leaders, whether it's in public sector, private sector, nonprofit sector, to solve public problems. So the core curriculum of the MPA is listed here on one slide. The core courses that you must take are policy analysis, innovation strategy and leadership, econ, research methods, and inferential statistics. And then in your final semester before you graduate, you complete a capstone project course where you complete a capstone for a real world client working on a real world problem. So, what I like to highlight is that you can actually complete all of these core courses and on the top there in the summer, either in summer session A by taking in-person classes and summer session D, which is in July, August timeframe. We also, I want to show you here, now offer an online start to the program, which provides added flexibility of being able to start online a bit later in June rather than May. But it does mean that you're taking two of your core courses in the summer and then the other two in the fall. So that's the trade-off. So you either come in summer session A in person, complete all your core in that first 6 weeks, or you start a little bit later in June and you take online courses in the evening, and then follow up in the fall and take the other two remaining core courses. So it just depends on how likely it is that you might step away from work for 6 weeks in the summer in the May, June timeframe to get the core courses done. If you're not able to do that, we've created a new way to start the program, which starts a bit slower, but it's online in the evenings. And we can answer questions about that if you have any. Then there's a second summer session called Summer Session D, which occurs in the July-August timeframe, and these electives are offered during that second summer session. And then in the fall and spring, you're taking either the core that you need to take if you started online, or it's all electives. If you start with Summer Session A in person, your whole entire fall semester will be electives. And then in the spring semester, everyone is doing their capstone project course. So the 12 to 14 month option just really refers to whether you choose to do your summer session D, that July, August semester, in the first summer or the second summer. And we provide that flexibility just in case you can get away for the first 6 weeks to do summer session A in person, but then you really need to take a break, get back to work full time, and do the summer session D later in the summer. We provide that extra flexibility. We do ask that you try to do one semester in person, and you must take inferential statistics either in that summer session D in July or in the fall. You need to get it done before your capstone. We want to make sure you get all your tools courses out of the way before you do your capstone project. So there are key dates here, and we'll share out these slides with you. I just like to share those early so you can start marking up your calendar. So for summer session A in person and summer session B online. And then summer session D, the dates are here as well. So I just like to provide those early because it becomes May before you know it. So I share those out early in these webinars. Next, I want to highlight what I think is one of the strongest parts of the program, which is our career services. So we know that folks are coming into this program. It's been a long time since you've been in school, and you're also mid-career. So you need different types of things than perhaps a younger graduate student might need. We provide an executive coach, Tom Hernandez, who meets with you one-on-one and who also provides programming throughout the year to help your career progress, whether you're coming in wanting to completely change. Maybe you're working in the private sector and you want to pivot and work in the public sector or vice versa. Or maybe you are preparing, you're upskilling to prepare yourself for a promotion. Regardless of what your path looks like and your desire and your why for doing the program, Tom is very equipped to help you specifically and individually with those goals. Our career services team also provides networking events throughout the year. For example, we have three major events that we do every year, which is a networking event in Sacramento, a networking event in Washington, D.C., as well as one in San Francisco. There are also opportunities for professional development throughout the year. And you're connected to the alumni network, as Cam mentioned, immediately. As soon as you enroll, you have access to the alumni network. We have a very active alumni base. The alumni board creates events throughout the year. We invite alums to host new students in the fall semester. There are a lot of ways in which alumni make themselves available, in addition to just being on our alumni network and welcoming students to reach out, sort of a cold call or a cold email when they're looking for jobs or needing some advice about perhaps a new policy area that they want to move into. We also have our own job listings that only our students and alums have access to, where many of our employers that we've worked with for many years will post their open positions because they're really specifically interested in GSPP alums. And additionally, there are online resources for interviewing, for resumes, for all types of things throughout the year. Where do Goldman graduates work? I've already mentioned this a bit, but our graduates come in with very diverse experiences and they're leaving to very diverse experiences as well. They're working in the public sector and nonprofit sector, and increasingly in the private sector, working on public problems from the private sector. So this is just a small sampling of those, but just to give you an idea that it is very diverse. And then just to highlight a few of our alums, our students are very passionate. They come in with a very strong desire to make the world a better place, to solve public problems, and that's what they do when they leave and become alums. Kristen Urquiza started a nonprofit very shortly after she graduated. She graduated in 2020, in May of 2020, and founded a nonprofit called Marked by COVID, focused on the COVID pandemic and the effects of families who lost loved ones due to COVID. Darielle Dunstan, MPA 2018, is the city manager of the city of Davis. Hector Mujica was also from the class of 2018 and was the head of Economic Opportunity Americas at Google.org and recently announced his campaign for US Senate in Florida. So we're rooting for him. Simone, I'm going to pass the mic to you to talk a bit about our costs and financial aid.
Sure, I will just hit the highlights of these slides because I know we're trying to maximize the time for Q&A and discussion. Cost of attendance, you can find this slide pretty much on the website. I do want to point out one couple of things. One, there is no difference between in-state, out-of-state tuition. We're a self-supported program. So there are no public funds supporting the program. Therefore, everybody pays the same, whether you're domestic, international. I also want to point out the health insurance, which is called SHIP, SHIP, and that is waivable. Basically, the university automatically enrolls all students into the university's health insurance program, and then you need to assertively submit a waiver request. And basically, what the university is looking for is just to make sure that you have conforming health insurance. I do want to add that the university's health insurance is very good, and it has international coverage. Let's go to the next slide, please. So financing your education, most of our domestic students do the federal loan, so the FAFSA application. As if you recall, the the program structure that Annie went through, we basically are going overlapping two FAFSA years. The FAFSA year starts July 1 through June 30th. So if you would start in the summer, that's one FAFSA year. The fall and spring is a second FAFSA year. And indeed, if you are staying with us for the 14-month program, so you're doing the summer D, the second year, you would indeed fall into a third FAFSA year. A lot of our students, both domestic and international, are on some sort of sponsorship, whether that's an employer sponsorship or a local or federal government sponsorship assisting them. And the university has third-party payer systems where your sponsor can work directly to pay your or a portion, your full or a portion part of your tuition directly to the university. If you served in the U.S. military, the university has a office of Veteran Affairs that helps you with GI benefits, and then a very popular activity for our students that provides both financial remuneration, but also some sort of teaching experience is serving as a teaching assistant. So GSI is a graduate student instructor, graduate and student researcher is GSR, and readers. And those positions come with a fee remission, which is a discount on tuition, plus an hourly wage. Let's go to the next slide, please. So I'll quickly go through the admissions process. Cohort profile, just kind of thinking about what Annie had mentioned about the program, we are a mid-career program. And so our students are coming to us kind of not only with mid-career issues and complicated lives, but also middle-aged lives. So, the other students have young kids, maybe have a baby while they're in the cohort, aging parents perhaps, but then also work commitment. So I always like to say, our program is super, super flexible because we are often, the second or third priority in our students' lives, and we create a support network. As Joyce had mentioned, she was able to work through while she was part of the program. And I would say about 35–40% of our students are continue working full-time while they're in the program. Cohort profile, currently have about 77 students, 56% are women, 32% are international. We normally have a little bit larger international number. Sometimes it's up towards 40% are international students. Average work experience is about 7. Average age range is 34 years of age. The age range is there's quite a variance. We've had as young as 25, 26 who are all stars. So, for example, people who are city council members at the age of 25. But then we've got people all the way up. We always have several people in their 50s. So, a really extensive age range in terms of the cohort. But of course, all of them have reached mid-career level. So the younger you are, the more exemplary you have had to have been in your career accomplishments. 18.5% of our current student body is underrepresented minority. And then I really want to emphasize that a lot of our students are not only, well, most of our students are coming from nonprofit or the public sector, not all. So I would say about 25% of our students are coming from the private sector. That includes law, finance, technology. You take that varied background plus the age of our students, the varied age of our students, and you get a really, really robust classroom conversation that is pulling from international examples, and the instructors really love the MPA students because in many ways, MPA students are considered colleagues to the instructors because and on any given subject, there could be an MPA student in that room that has greater knowledge on that specific subject than the instructor. And the entire classroom conversation rallies around that, the varied and robust experiences of our cohort. Let's go to the next slide, please. Online application requirements. So the online application is through the graduate admissions main webpage. The URL is there. I did see a couple of questions regarding the admission requirements on the in the chat. So as a mid-career program, the absolute three most important components of your application: your work experience, showing leadership experience; your essays, your personal statement essay, as well as your mission statement. There, we love mission-driven people, passion-driven people, people who want to change the world. So your work experience resume, your essays, and then your letters of recommendation. Undergraduate GPA is important, but it is just secondary. We put it in perspective. Many of our applicants have not been in undergrad for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And so obviously at this point, their career accomplishments are a much better representation of their aptitude than their undergraduate experience. Um, no GRE requirement. The applications do require an application fee to the extent that you may need a fee waiver. On the graduate admissions website, there is some information on obtaining such an application fee waiver. Let's go to the next slide, please. Application deadlines. Round one application is December 1. We encourage everybody to apply by December 1. What that does is if you apply by December 1, you will know by mid-January, late January, what your application status is. Keep in mind, we start in May. So if you are an international student, the need to get your student go through that student visa process, housing, even domestic students who are looking at continuing to work, they need to talk to their employers. So the December 1 deadline gives you the longest runway to be able to join us in May. All right, we have a second round deadline, which is February 1. Those applicants will learn of their application status by mid-March. And then finally, from February 1 to April 1, we go into rolling admissions. Importantly, there is no admissions advantage to applying to any of these. Every application, regardless of the deadline, is considered in the same light. But again, you have a much better ability to join us the longer runway you have between knowing your status and joining us in May. Thank you. Holistic review. Again, your mid-career. There's no sort of matrix that we're looking at. It's just a holistic review because there's so much experience, life experiences that we can see, and we encourage you to share those both obviously on your resume, but also in your essays. Let's go to the next slide. So the main thing here is if you have any questions, there's that email address, mpa@berkeley.edu. We respond to all inquiries within 24 business hours. So we're super responsive there. And there are also, if you go to our website, there are opportunities to set up one-on-one admissions consultations, or every Wednesday from 10 to 11 Pacific time. I have a Zoom room that you can find on the website where you can enter and ask any question, whether it's a technical question on the application or a sort of question regarding the program, the student experience. I think that's it. Annie, is it? Yes.
That's everything. And I'm going to stop sharing and we'll open it up to questions. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have to hop off before we officially finish, I just want to thank you so much for being here, for your interest. And as Simone mentioned, please feel free to reach out with any questions. There's a way to sign up for one-on-one consultations with Simone and Cam through the website, and we really encourage you to do that.